Alright guys, let's jump into specific unit types as far as their effectiveness. We're going to start off with your basic standard troop choice. And how effective can it be? And depending on the army you're playing, and I'm just going to go off a couple that I know fairly well, being a Space Marine Tactical Squad and Necron Warriors. How effective can they really be? And for Space Marines, that can vary in itself, depending on if you're playing a specific chapter. So there are some variables. But if we just go base stats, no modifiers, Space Marines are always hitting on a 3 up. And depending on your opponent's toughness, if they're toughness 3, you're wounding on 3s. Toughness 4, you're wounding on 4s. Toughness 5, you're wounding on 5s. And that's just shooting with a standard bolter. And if you get lucky, if you get in within half range, you get an additional... You basically get the rapid fire. One of the characteristics of the bolter drill. I mean, not bolter drill, of the bolter. And for Necrons, I believe you're wounding on, or hitting on a 3 or 4 up. I can't remember. I think it's a 3 up. And you're wounding on a 4 up. Unless you're going up against Orcs, Guard. Then you're practically wounding on 2s and 3s. But really, the biggest thing for troops, for any troop, is really, they're the meat shield for some of the more agile, more mobile, more powerful units in your army. But they can also provide that pivotal support. Like for Tau, that support fire and Overwatch, which is always annoying. But I see it almost as if it were similar to like the American Civil War, where you had, granted, hundreds upon thousands, but if you look at them, the infantry was basically similar to your troop choice. And if you put them in specific positions, or try to move them to a specific position to where then you can actually swing or push a flank, or try and hold a center or resupport a particular part in your lines, they can really be a pivotal component. And of course, they are also an important component if you run a standard CAD, or if you run one of these new formations like the Demi Company for Space Marines, or Tachyon Detachment for Necrons. And how you load them up also is important as well, because do you look at adding certain weapons, certain loadouts to your attack squad, or do you take those points and maybe add another weapon to a Devastator squad, or do you allocate those points to maybe making your Terminator squad that much better by, instead of giving them lightning claws like their standard loadout, maybe give them a Thunderhammer Storm Shield. Maybe you want to give your Overlord, switch out that Staff of Light and give them a War Scythe. Maybe you want to make your Lich Guard, instead of having the War Scythe, the Sword and Shield. So really it comes down, what do you want your choices to accomplish? How many of them are you going to have in your list? Are you going to have 2? Are you going to have 3? Maybe 4? Are they going to be full troop choices? Or are they going to be the bare minimum? 5-man tac squad? Full 10-man tac squad? Maybe if you're Necrons, do you go with a full 20-man Terminator squad, or Necron Warrior squad? Do you go with a full platoon of guardsmen? So there you have to actually figure out, how many do you want, what do you want them to accomplish, and is it worth the points to put into that troop choice, or troop choices, to make it worth or justify what you want them to do.